Hey, how's it going, people? This is Ethan from Rhythmo. It's me again, alone in the office. I may be going a little crazy. I may desperately need a haircut. But you know what? We got bigger fish to fry. We're going to be talking about the 16-step sequencer. You've followed us up until this point. You probably know what the main page is all about. But today we're not talking about that. We got a few sounds loaded up here to help us construct the pattern later. We got a kick, a snare, a hi-hat, open hi-hat, and a hat roll. Our sequencer is set up as a traditional 16-step sequencer, meaning there are 4 beats in the bar and 4 steps in the beat. The sequence could be anywhere between 1 bar to 32 bars, and there could be 16 patterns in a group, 4 groups in the project, making it 64 patterns per project. Let's start this out by adding some hi-hats to the pattern. With the control buttons, you can have the pattern playback, and you can stop the playback. These 16 buttons on the side correspond to the 16 buttons found on the main page, which correspond to the 16 buttons on the BeatBox hardware, which means all of these buttons are playable, which enables recording live play. So if I have the pattern playing, and if I activate recording, I'll be able to put in some kicks and snares live. You can control the speed of the track with this BPM function here by either typing it in or use the slider. If you want to change the length of the pattern, all you gotta do is go into this menu right here. Once this menu pops up, the 16 big buttons will control the length of the pattern. So for example, let's create a 2-bar pattern here. And now you can access the second half of the pattern. So now this becomes a 2-bar pattern. As we've talked about before, each group gives you 16 patterns and you can access it here. And these 16 big buttons now correspond to the 16 patterns, and this is how you change which pattern you're on. So let's go to pattern 2, and we can create a new pattern here. All of these sequencer steps are also accessible on the BeatBox hardware, and I'll show you how. Select a sound. In this case, I'm using the hi-hat. Click down on the joystick button to lock on to the sound. And now the 16 buttons become the 16 steps of the sequencer, and I can add steps on the hardware by doing just this. So now let's play it back. And now I can change which sound I have currently on active with the joystick. So for example, let's have the kick highlighted, and now we can add kicks to the pattern. And we can add snares to the pattern. Now that concludes our sequencer walkthrough today. We have a slicer function that's being finished up right now and a layering function that's currently under development, which is basically layering a bunch of sequencer patterns into a track and exporting the whole track. So once those are done, we'll give you a rundown on those. We hope everybody watching this is staying healthy and safe. I can't stress this enough, but I'm so sorry for the continuous delay on the product. But at least we're getting really close to finishing everything up and to your hands. So that's something to look forward to. And I'm so sorry for the lack of content lately. As you know, all of my employees are working from home. So there's nobody helping me taking these videos or photos or whatnot. And I find it really, I see this lack of humanity somehow every time I have to talk to the camera on my own because, you know, I'm not really talking to anybody. So I'm not the best at this. Hopefully this whole situation gets better soon so we can get back on our original schedule of content updating so you can stay in the loop better. Until next time, peace.